force them to watch
the
it.
stream.
It's like when you go to a friend's house, hey, let me show you all these cool videos, and you sit there awkwardly, oh god, when's this video gonna finish?
He's like chuckling beside you, you're like,
did you like it? Let me show you the recommended ones, and then it just keeps going.
And it never ends.
I had a party one time when somebody is like, I'll show you a 12-minute video. It's like going to karaoke.
Party.
It's a different kind of party. You go to karaoke and then I'm not going to say the word, but if you go to karaoke, you do not pick Bohemian Rhapsody. That is not an acceptable karaoke song. As fun as it is to sing, unless everybody's in on it, you are ruining the experience. It's a 7-minute long song that you're sitting there doing chorus and whatever sounds come out of your mouth by yourself. Involve everybody or don't do it at all. Karaoke 101.
You know what I hate more than Bohemian Rhapsody for that is actually Stairway to Heaven, because it's even longer and it's slower, and when everybody's a little bit tipsy and you're at karaoke, you're looking to have fun, don't put on the super boring long song with the giant solo at the end. Just don't do it. Hotel California is like a little bit better, but also you gotta mind the big solo at the end.
Or just pick songs that are meant to be sang along with you.
It's true.
Such as Say My Name.
Definitely a good one.
Junglers will be mirroring each other once again with Elise and Lee starting red side. Elise will finish top side, and if they can balance out this wave from pushing out, they could have an opportunity to gank Untara, but he's taking full control of this minion wave so far, so it is unlikely for him to be in the position to get ganked early game. Meanwhile, Blank will return to the Raptor camp, and that will mean that he's going to be in the top side, and we might see some battles over this Scuttle Crab.
We're not going there yet, just going over to the Wolves. Want to clear that out. For this game, we do have a starting Mountain Drake, which will be very, very nice for either of these early game focused teams to pick up and helping them take down turrets, take other objectives.
As you mentioned, these dragons just make the game that much more exciting because these two teams don't have any siege. They're all about fighting for the objective, and if you give one of them the opportunity to rush down the Baron or find a quick siege onto a tower, this means that the game will become even more explosive.
Well, not too much happening here in the beginning of the game. Saw a nice ping there from Kuro saying, okay, I know where the ward is, just based off of Faker moving out of lane for the exact amount of time it takes to put the ward down.
Yeah, there's that ping onto the doubles as well that spotted out Blank correctly. I believe that was more of an intuition guess based off prior information.
No root there from Tushin. Actually does miss that, and they're trying to almost bait this as we have Blank coming down the lane. Wolf eating a bunch of damage, but nothing can be done.
Good read there from SKT. They thought about maybe baiting it a little bit, waiting for Blank to make it down the lane. A counter gank would be a huge threat, but Afreeca have to respect that there are double teleports on SKT's side, and 2 TPs will always matter when it comes down to the bot lane fights. How many times have we seen teams go for 5-man dives or use Gallier and as many tools as possible to just obliterate your AD carries? It's countless, and when you have to remember the double teleports, it's such a rare summoner to take so many times that people will forget about it and almost always pay with their lives.
Got pretty morbid there at the end. It's definitely true.
It's the ultimate price.
Yeah. I love how Tushin, every single time Bang moves up to take a creep, he's always there threatening the root. He's like, okay, if you want to get this creep, you better be good at dodging my root because I'm going to be there threatening it, throwing it out every single time, especially on the cannons, particularly.
It's like good synergy. And speaking of synergy, 2 games in a row where Spirit goes for the early mobility boots, just going full gank mode. There is an opportunity in the top side, but Blank is just escorting Untara around the wave, making sure he can push the wave out safely. So any opportunities for Spirit are likely to come from perhaps mid lane before magic resistance comes online, or maybe a dive into the bottom side, as once levels start coming through, without much trading into the top side, killing Jarvan is not the easiest.
Looking for that root again. See the poke coming out of Tushin, playing very far forward, especially when you're playing against this melee support. Very hard for Wolf to answer back early on.
Look at that ping. They're reading Blank like a book. A ping onto the Wolf camp, 3 seconds later, he's queuing onto the Wolf. So Afreeca just have great intuition here, and it shows, and they have an advantage that was just acquired with Untara teleporting to the top side. But instead of going for a dive themselves, they simply choose to match the teleport top side to keep pressure into the lanes. So nothing crazy happening into the bottom lane.
Yeah, not this time. Definitely. Okay, we got a bit of a fight here. The trade coming down with the Cask and the Cataclysm, but both members in the top lane are very healthy still. Very even in health.
We know what build is going to come out of Marin here. We've seen this one before. It was in their game against Rocks, where triple ring into throws and fists, and when you're dealing with physical jungler and a physical laner, it's one of the best builds you can do. You can't really question it and say, oh, you should have gone with something else. Fantastic itemization here so far, but Baker being the only magic damage threat, and Untara getting caught out.
Oh boy, Untara, okay, he will have the flag and drag. Will he be forced to use the flash? You can see that Crow is chasing, but no. He will not be forced to, and Untara gets himself out of a potentially bad situation.
And that greed looking for the healing honey fruit will cost him this cannon minion. He now has to base, and Marin quickly pushes out the way, so a bit of an advantage growing into the top side. A lane that before you would have expected the Jarvan to have pressure in. Marin's playing it well, and now with that CS lead and level lead, this means that this lane is going to take a lot longer for Untara to feel comfortable pushing in.
When we saw the Blank sub coming in, it made a lot of sense. We see that very often when SKT loses game 1. But the Untara sub was a little bit surprising for me.
Yes, I agree. I thought the Camille pick was the bigger issue than Huni's play itself. Maybe, but we can only speculate, right? Maybe calls, maybe a player isn't feeling themselves that day. Maybe they're making poor judgment, or simply just not speaking enough. There's so many reasons for teams to make sub decisions that we can only...
Okay, they're going to be jumping here onto Kramer, and he is all alone against 3 members. He will use the heal, he still has the flash, he fails it, but he gets far enough away and survives the gang.
Oh my god, and it was Blank missing the Q after the Dragon's Rage. The classic Lee Sin play. You kick, it was so well played from Wolf. Blank follows up, which was a great follow-up there. Gets a flash kick onto Kramer, but then can't follow up with the Q, and that makes the difference and allows him to get away. Now they're thinking about another dive. There is a teleport here from Faker, but they don't have enough damage. They don't have enough HP or cooldowns to go for this, and what could have been and definitely should have been first blood for SKT gets botched once again. Execution just not on their side today.
Yeah, and even just little things like that, Blank TPing back or recalling on a ward. Let's take another look at this. Flash in from Wolf.
Beautiful. And Varus can't flash because he doesn't know the direction of the Glacial Fissure. Oh, he misses that one. He's trying to angle it away from the plants, but the angle was already there. Overthinking it ends up costing the kill, and Kramer didn't even have to flash over the wall. He just, oh, they don't have anything left? I'll just flash in a straight line.
Really nice Stranglethorns as well from Tushin to save Kramer's life, but pretty easy. Just plop that down right when the engage does happen in an attempt to save him. Worked out. But as you said, really came down to the mistake of Blank missing that Q, and right as we were questioning Untara's replacement, Blank with a very costly mistake.
Oh my lord. Easy steal.
Ooh, landing that cocoon. Here comes Marin with the charge on him, but misses the body slam flash, and the cask will not be enough. Baker actually able to flash away. Lots of failed ganks tonight.
So close, but just so far. You need 3 man to kill Faker right now when you have the Athene's Holy Grail. Spirit sees the opportunity, and Unfortunately, it's not an opportunity that was pre-planned. Otherwise, Marin would have been in position. You see the cocoon, you just take the chance right then and there. And while you can have expected that Faker would have flashed that, I'm sure he thought the body slam would connect.
Oh, bang going on in. Featherstorm, he will get locked up, and Kramer with no of his spells left over, none of them left over. He will get taken out for first blood. Nice play there by Bang to make that happen.
And his world just got rocked there. No summoners left. Immediately SKT pounced on the opportunity. They don't burn a single summoner for that kill. Just Varus overstepping his boundaries, and a great play from Bang, utilizing that Featherstorm to make sure that he can get the root at the end. Sets up Wolf for a nice Q right at the very end. We'll take another look right here on how that one came out.
Just lines it up, and as you said, a small step forward and the Featherstorm is enough.
Great timing there on the Unbreakable. Right as they exit, make sure that there's no crazy follow-up damage from Zyra to deal even more damage under the tower.
It's kind of unfortunate that Wolf picked up that first blood. Jumping on in with his ultimate, stealing it.
True, but you can never be too picky about it, especially when you're down one game. Any kill is a good kill for them, especially when it only costs 2 ultis. A low cooldown for a great reward. They'll take that trade every day.
Well, we got Wolf being a bit active in the river, as after the peg, he had a lot of time to just leave lane, but Spirit always trying to get that vision, using the scanner, but actually another ward spotted both of them going into the brush.
Look at how smart that ward was from Wolf. Typically, you know, people like to base or ward that bush. As such, he wards away from it. If there had been a control ward, you would have been notified, as the ward would have been disabled. And it gives you the opportunity of seeing somebody enter the brush without actually having to contest it. So, smart placement when they're in a position where they fear getting ganked. As Elise with Varus and Zyra is a setup that not many champions can escape from.
Marin up in the top lane, looking to outplay one of the newer members, the sub, and Tara. Here for SKT. Although it is very even. There was just that one mistake where he went for the fruit in the river that lost him about 10 CS, but he's been keeping up.
It's beyond that, it's hard to start trading with each other and doing so much. No matter how hard Gragas tries to push, which is what he gets out of this build, which is so heavily focused on mana, he does not have too much control because of the Tiamat purchase. So one of the reasons why Jarvan is so popular right now, the itemization makes it so easy for him to get pressure into the lane, similar to Kled. And in the meantime, without any action going on, SKT take the opportunity of blue buff being handed away for Blank to just solo out the dragon.
At the same time, though, they were handing over the blue, and that means that Spirit, seeing this dragon be started, they're looking for the Rift Herald for their team. We'll see if Spirit can actually get that down. The Mountain Drake will go over to SKT.
This can be a good trade for Afreeca now. If they can use this Herald onto the mid lane and push Faker back, he will have to respond to most action with a teleport. And the tier 2 purchase of boots from Kuro, which is what he did in game 1, is going to come in handy when considering that you have wanted to use that Weaver's Wall as often as possible. Here comes a dive.
Okay, getting that slow onto Kramer. They do see Blank.
They don't see Kuro though.
Yeah, Kuro on the left side, and SKT deciding against it. Not 100% confident in that dive.
Not enough vision to know where Elise is. They recognize that she did buy the mobility boot, so her ability to surprise you and catch you off guard, especially when you're going for a dive that you know is going to take a while because you have to tank Chains of Corruption and Stranglethorns, means that the risk is too high for the reward.
Tara's been pretty good about just pushing in the lane against this Gragas and getting some nice vision for his team. You can see puts down the control ward at the blue, just checking the river for any control wards of SKT. Will make his way back up into the top lane.
Alongside Blank, who is also coming into the top side, and that little bit of a CS lead that came off from that chunking in the river is still there. So both these top laners doing their best at last hitting without giving too much away. Their teleports are going to be their biggest tools now. Here comes the Rift Herald.
Okay, you can see this tower is already pretty low, and the one charge might do it from the Rift Herald. It's going to be close. Okay, a couple more hits, and it looks like that will be the first blood turret going over to Afreeca with the Rift Herald.
You know what'd be cool?
What?
Rift Herald skins.
So when your team uses it, it has like different clothes on?
Yeah, so if all 5 members have a Rift Herald skin on, you can have Cockroach Rift Herald, so it just looks like a gross cockroach, or you can have like a...
Oh, that sounds awesome,
like like a beating ram, you know, the ones that they use to crack down castles?
That would be cool. I like that idea.
Goats, it could be a goat, mountain goat herald. The possibilities are endless. Riot loves money, why won't they do this?
Maybe they will. After your suggestion, trying to get on top of Faker here, Blank eating a bunch of damage, and there's the Q, forcing that flash away, and there's that Dragon's Rage. Perfect play there by Blank, making up for his mistake, but he gets knocked to the wall by the cask. Afreeca looking to turn this back, and Marin, oh, the Chain of Corruption will not land onto Antara, so it will just be a 1-for-1 trade.
Close call there for SKT. They catch onto Faker between Talia and Spirit, but they know they don't have enough damage between those 2 members, so Blank collapses immediately. They are able to pick up Elise and force out the heal from Kuro, and 1 teleport comes out. Antara does use his teleport, whereas Marin did walk out, so top laner advantage with the teleport does go to Afreeca. Here it comes again. They're gonna find Faker, but he does have that Fiend's Holy Grail. Even if he couldn't hit, he likely would not have gone down. They'll commit once again onto Spirit. Ooh. This is a cool kick flash. It's just your standard kick flash there. We've seen it a million times, but a great cast there from Marin. Forces Blanket to turret aggro and trades 1-for-1.
Marin, the veteran on his team, really trying to carry it by the cask, fighting against Antara, but having the presence of mind to throw the perfect cask to knock Elise in, who's by no means an easy target.
The perfect cask. It sounds like what Gragas would say regarding the alcoholic content of it, however. A monk, a Trappist beer, you know, they sit in there and make alcohol all day. That's that $80 beer we were talking about.
Yeah, the $80 beer at this one restaurant we went to. Maybe someday, with all of our dirty esports money.
I'm sure with the big bucks he's making in NA, he can afford it. Meantime, take a look at the vision that SKT has presented in the river. Double control ward, a scuttle crab, as well as river or ramp entrance in the right side. So nobody from Afreeca can enter this bottom lane and go unnoticed, and this gives the opportunity for Bang to continually push up. They have already proven that they have tremendous kill pressure onto the Varus, and as such, they have to play back. They have to respect it, and there is a CS lead that is growing, as well as a turret damage advantage.
They got a control ward in this brush, looking for a pick. They were already able to catch Kramer out one time.
They need more people if they want to kill Faker.
Come on in. Here's Marin. Can he land the cask? The answer is no. That wasn't even close.
Negative on that one. Maybe they are going to lose that tier 1 in the bottom lane. Zaya continues to push, and Wolf just buying some time, and here it goes down.
So, a failed gank will give up a turret in the bot lane. So now both teams have picked up a turret. This game extremely close as we enter 20 minutes.
Itemization starting to come through. Heavy magic resist for SKT so far. 5 Mercury treads. Considering the amount of CC that is on this lineup and magic damage, even Varus packs his fair share of magic damage with his Black Quiver.
Uh-oh, Spirit in a lot of trouble coming in with the Weaver's Wall. Here is Kuro trying to go for the save, knocking back Blank, but will not save the life of his jungler. And Spirit just getting out of position, gets taken out.
Classic Elise, and this is why game 1 I was surprised to see him do so well. Buying that Dark Seal, which he has once again, but not finding the same success of that first match, and as such, that's a 0-2 Elise, and unfortunately, we want to see this guy succeed and have the great games that we've known him to have, especially when he was on Samsung Blue. Many people looked up to him as one of the best junglers in the world, period. His Rengar, his Jarvan, just so many champions, the Lee Sin. Now we want him to get to that form again, and sometimes he does, but sometimes he doesn't, and that's just a story of Afreeca. The lack of consistency starts with the players.
Especially when you get the same champion 2 times in a row. He looks so good on it in game 1, and then you come into game 2, it's like, what happened?
Blank. He got nervous. He's in the booth. Like, oh no, not the undefeated, the uncontested, unrivaled king of the jungle. Nobody else is undefeated in the jungle now.
Just their boy Blank looking to show Peanut who's the better Lee Sin. Can they lock down Curl? There's the knockup. Easy peasy. Another wasted TP though from SKT, as Faker will lose his, but definitely a nice skill to pick up.
When you can alternate teleports, it gives you that option of always using teleports when you make a play, so that their chance of a counter back at any, or a counter gank or any response from the enemy lineup is just not there. Next time, it's going to be Untara using his teleport, and if he cancels it, then the next time it's going to be Faker, as Marin is the only one on Afreeca who can ever answer.
The game is slowly pushing towards SKT as Faker's let alone in the bottom lane with red buff on Karma. Picking away at that tier 2. Now Marin's winning a trade up in top, and Untara lives. That's going to be another tower going over to SKT.
And it's slipping away from Afreeca. The game 1 juice just not lasting long. And if it turns out it was only Michael Jordan's water, and now, where's the magic? You get that reference?
A little bit. Are you talking about Magic Johnson?
No.
No?
No. Space Jam.
Oh. I wasn't close. I was throwing it out there, seeing if something stuck. Space Jam. I saw that movie when I was like 7, and I haven't watched it again. Maybe that's another rewatch. You and I aren't the biggest movie watchers.
I mean, I wouldn't rewatch Space Jam. I know exactly what happens in it, but I do remember that it
That's the thing, you remember, I don't.
It tells you the moral is that greatness is within. You don't need a special juice to make you feel like you've accomplished. It's a placebo effect.
Thanks for the spoilers. Maybe I won't watch it again now.
It's a kid's movie. It's not that complex.
Well, as we said, the reference is slipping away from me just as this game is from Afreeca. As the push is coming in onto the mid lane, now Bang has red buff. And there's just, okay, now they're pulling together 4 members. It looks like they do have a response, but they are able to chunk down that mid tier 1 to half health already.
But it's likely that Faker gets left alone to the top side. Kuro is answering, but the turret is so low. Blank and Untara, or Wolf, are rotating top side to try to take down this tower.
Tether does not land.
Oh, he's
going
gonna
to damage.
So dope if he doesn't get out of there.
Oh, but look at this counter engage here from Afreeca. They find Blank and Wolf in the jungle. Both of them forced to get out of there. But here comes the Weaver's Wall, and Marin up in the top lane able to teleport in. It looks like this should be a kill out to Faker, who misses his flash and cannot pick up the kill onto Kuro.
The failed flash from Faker, a little bit on the edge there on the wall, as well as on the edge himself. In the meantime, Untara will continue to farm into the bottom side, so at least they have pressure into the lanes. But this is what Afreeca needs to be doing, using that teleport advantage. We thought it would be Untara to answer. They read what SKT is trying to do. They saw a Faker committed to doing it to the bottom side, so they say we're not going to allow it this time around. Tucson and Spirit react quite well here. We see them just jump right into them, so makes total sense for them to pounce on the opportunity. But the teleport's already on the way here, and taking down Faker is all too easy when you combo the Weaver's Wall and separate Blank and Wolf.
Fail flash. Kuro does live. We got some pings going down onto the Baron here. Looks like Afreeca on the blue side, trying to use that advantage, clear out any of the vision, take the Scuttlecraft.
It would be a bold move. It worked game 1. That's because SKT was nowhere near in the position where they are this time around. The more magic resist that comes out of them, and as long as they continue to take fights where Kramer is not involved, the more likely they are to survive for new rotations of their cooldowns in these fights and allow them to win. It's Karma, who is a single damage spell champion, right? Not tether does not count as a damage move. So
It does a little bit.
the longer these fights go, the more benefit it will be for SKT, because just think of a fight where Faker misses his first mantra. To be fair, Faker is highly unlikely to miss his first mantra, but on the chance that it happens or somebody flashes it, you're stuck there without the ability to deal damage for a couple of seconds, and those seconds matter when the entire lineup of SKT can just rapid fire at you between Zyra, Varus, and Talia.
Very true. Although Faker is okay. Hold that thought. We got this Baron start here.
Blanket, what are you doing down here, Blank?
That's not the Baron. That's the Scuttle Crab in the lower river, and the ward just come down. A TP in from one of the members. It looks like Huntara. They're looking at huge first damage out of Faker on a lot of these members. Faker in the back line trying to get that kill, but he will be taken out. That's 2 kills going over to SKT. Now Kuro in the back line looking to get onto Wolf here, who's all alone. Blank getting to the party a little bit too late. Looks like maybe Wolf gets taken out. Yes, he will. On the back of that 3-for-1 and the Baron going over to Afreeca.
Blank must not have been watching game 1 and saw what Afreeca did. They took advantage of the early Baron. No vision there. Even though there was a ward in the back of the pit, the control ward disabled it. They pounce on the opportunity and immediately pick up a Baron that now remains on 4 members, and all for 1 Scuttle Crab. That was what Blank was doing at the time. If you're a jungler, post 20 minutes, you gotta sit around game 1.
Especially after game 1, as you were saying. I mean, this is definitely a big mistake from all of SKT. It seemed like Wolf was just a little bit late on the ward, and even with all this burst damage from Faker, he gets locked up for so long, and Tara jumping into the Zyra ultimate, getting knocked up.
And so few times do we see teams do split calls onto a Baron and pull it off right. And this was the time where it was correct for Afreeca to do it. They knew how much time they had until the rest of SKT would get there. They knew that Baron was low enough for Elise to finish it by herself nearly, and as such, they do it well. They turn onto Faker, who has no cleanse, who is an easy target, combo it with the Stranglethorns, and are able to both secure Baron and kills at the same time. What a rare sight to see, but they pull it off.
Afreeca, they've got some juice left over, it seems, perhaps, from game number 1. And sneaking that Baron, getting those kills, we'll see what other advantages they can get. They pick up the Infernal Drake. Now they're looking for the bottom tier 1. Kramer gonna tank this one up.
Now they are gonna play the 1-3-1. Marin having his own teleport and no teleport on the side of Huntara, so the chances of a flank engage are minimal here, as it would only be Huntara going for a crazy flank out of vision, but Afreeca's vision has been great. Now they're going for that tier 2, and Huntara is all tied up dealing with Marin.
Yeah, and look at that. SKT, they were going through the jungle, but they get spotted out by Tushin, so they get to this turn a little bit late. You can see just how low this tier 2 is getting. The next push should do it.
One more wave, and
whoa, okay, Banks going on it. He catches Kuro, and this guy is showing up finally.
Holy crap, he just flew like a jet.
Into the back line, though, is Tushin trying to knock him up. Spirit in a bit of trouble, will repel down. Blank, will he continue on to this? Looking for that energy, will jump in, the cocoon misses, and they're still on the chase. They're not letting go of this one yet. The route there onto Wolf, though. Blank is all alone.
I gotta see that again.
That was pretty insane.
Holy, like a pinball machine. Yeah, clap for that guy. Oh, we're not gonna get the justice of the replay yet.
Not yet. Blank getting knocked up by that body slam. The cask going to knock them further away. They will force a TP out here. Still no Dragon's Rage onto Blank. TP will be canceled by Faker.
The classic mechanic we see so many times where Unbreakable gets to outplay the castle. We'll take another look right here. Onto the cannon, flying out, does he even proc it? Nope, he doesn't. Just beautiful.
That is so cool.
So here's a little throwback, actually. The first time I believe the insect kick came out was against Yellow Pete in the exact same fashion in the bottle lane. It was insect where he throws out a Q, and gets to go for the ward hop before connecting the Q, and that's what made the move so impressive, because at the time, like 5 years back, nobody was committing or didn't even know that you could ward hop out of your Q. So Blank taking those from Insect there. But so many players before have claimed to be the original member. It doesn't matter. It was him where it started getting the fame of traction. Thomas Edison.
Pretty much. He made it, known to the masses that, hey, you can do this, and I've got some pretty sick mechanics, and I can do it on the big stage. So, gotta hand it to him. Blank really trying to make up for his mistakes, I think, multiple times in this game. It's been kind of all over the place. One good play there, one bad play there. Trying to show Peanut how to play that lead set.
He's got that abyssal mask out of all items, just trying to help out Faker as much as possible. They do need DPS, and normally you would expect the opposite item there, the name escapes me, the one that diminishes damage 15%, but when you're going against Talia, who her Q does so much damage, look at the item.
The Abyssal Mask?
Yeah, there's Abyssal Mask, and then there's the new one, which I just can't remember the name right now. You know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Because you said that you forgot, now I'm drawing a blank here as well. We say it all the time. Isn't it like Radiant or something like that?
This'll help. Who knows? We know what the item is, all these new appearances, it takes time. Some trading into the bottom side, making sure that nobody can teleport into a fight if something is to break out.
Okay, the big knock on the bank, though. Featherstorm coming on in. Lots of damage on the backside. Stranglethorns will not land. And it doesn't look like anyone will die. Bang, staying alive, forced to blow his heel.
At least he lives, and it shows the survivability of Xayah with her ultimate, something that no other AD carry can really amount for. I think Vayne is the only one that you think her ult gives her that much survivability.
Okay, Afreeca going hard onto this turret. Can Blank do it again? Locks onto Spirit here. Manscrew does miss all 4 members.
Look at the respect they offer to Blank. As soon as Q connects in a dangerous position, teleport comes out right away. But they also knew that Untar was waiting on the wings. He was at the wolf camp looking for an engage. But now SKT is not in a position to respond to this dragon. It's going to go down quickly. So they will have to answer with position in either setting up later or going up for the Baron. Wow, what a shot.
There it is, Faker. He's farming so well. You can see that damage that he offers. Now it's Baron versus the world. Trying to get onto this blasting plant. He will jump over. Can his team actually help him out? Doesn't look like it. Blank comes through again with another Dragon Trade. It kicks him over the wall.
And now they have the inside track to get into the mid lane turret. It's going to give them some gold control over the Baron area. They can go transition into it. They can try to rush this down as they do have a mounted dragon on their side. Afreeca have to respond to this quickly, or they could see themselves at the losing end of a Baron fight.
This game, once again, is just so close. Can Afreeca challenge the Baron here 4v5 without Marin, without a significant portion of their engage?
Nay.
Brum's channeling his inner horse says no. SKT will be able to take it out.
How is Blank such a hero consistently?
I don't know, man. This guy truly is the closer coming in for SKT.
I'm shocked.
Peanut's the big starter. Sometimes he has a good day, sometimes he doesn't. But every time Blank comes out, even through mistakes, even through giving up 3 Barons
Worlds
in games against MVP.
Matches against teams that are on the rise. He just seems to find a way, and now they're sitting at, well, it's still a small gold lead. Momentum is in their favor, and that's something that you cannot put in the scoreboard.
They just have so much going for them, reeling off of a mistake right now is Afreeca after giving up a couple of objectives, another turret, a Baron. They do get the 2 Infernal Drakes total after picking that one up, so that is pretty nice for their team fight, but still, doesn't feel too good.
And now the magic resistance is really kicking into high gear. Jarvan with 3 magic resist items. That's the one I was talking about. You see it now?
Yeah.
The purple one.
The item that must not be.
Pretty sure it's Abyssal.
I don't think it's Abyssal Helm.
Well,
it's Abyssal Mask.
Mask, helm. They both look like faces. We know what they do.
It's the item that shall not be named. It's the purple one.
Now here comes the 2-man control of 2 lanes with the Baron. So if they're thinking about a base, if they can hit a mantra Q onto the back line, it should be enough to force Afreeca to retreat. Here's a wall.
Ooh, nice wall. It's 3 members all locked up. A big knock up there onto them, and the cask in the back line to knock up back. Here comes Zantara from the left side, and a big root. Doesn't seem like anyone loses any health in the entirety of that engage. But lots of summoners and ultimate abilities used.
Just look at how little damage Afreeca does. Between the magic damage and the short range AD that is Varus, and then you have to account for the shields from Faker and the heals off the Athene. It's just too much.
Now they're struggling to stop the Baron push. We were talking about how neither of these teams has too much siege, rather. And that tower doesn't take all too much damage.
It'll have to be a dive or a crazy attempt. We saw that Afreeca is at least capable of pulling the trigger before it gets to be too late, before they lose a base turret, which is what holds them in here and what forces SKT to look for creative ways to crack in the base. Typically we'll see them go for just the next Baron, but this is the first Baron that they have for a couple of minutes still remaining, so not getting much out of this would mean that the next one is unlikely to yield any results, and the fight will have to be around the objective, and teams will, if they win a fight, will need to prioritize taking down base turrets and inhibitors than going for the big purple worm. There's a 3-man though. They've spread themselves out now, trying to crack the base from 3 angles, see if it works.
Right now it seems the top lane is a little bit weak, but SKT is going to rotate down into bottom. And you can see this turret here is being chunked down by Antara.
Great move there from SKT, forcing the side of Afreeca to respond to the farthest point from where they are actually getting turret damage, which is in the top side. Good communication leads to a proper rotation, and they're able to crack the base. While they didn't get the inhibitor turret, this does set them up for a next Baron siege in which they can get an inhibitor. And we might be in for the long haul here if these 2 teams keep playing the way they are.
That's what I want to see. Afreeca really pushing SKT to their limit, not making this easy by any means. And even if SKT does win this game, they have to win another one. They'd be tied up at 1-1.
Keep blanking.
I think you have to. I mean,
well, we just don't know. I mean, maybe. I'd probably keep him in.
I think 100% you keep blanking.
Well,
if SKT wins this game after his performance on Lee Sin, compared to Peanuts,
you keep him in for his win rate, which, God, still 100%. What?
So satisfying, you know? 100%. Not a single loss.
It's fun to see players that were previously so scrutinized.
Hold that dog. Faker forced to flash away, almost gets knocked up as they're desperately trying to take out this ward around the Elder Drake.
Elder will now spawn. Control of the 2 lanes comes out from SKT as Antara pushes the bottom lane. Marin will either have to answer or position himself for a fight. There is no Tucson left, but I don't think they can crack this down before he's in at least a threatening range. Here's Marin on the side. Oh, it's going down so quick.
Getting the big zoom out here. Can Spirit come in and steal it is really the question. They're going to turn on to Marin, though. That Featherstorm will be enough. Rather, not the Featherstorm, but he does get locked down. No steal from Spirit. That will be locked up for Bang. Not going to miss the smite on this one. Now Blank trying to get onto Marin. Very, very low down there in the bottom lane. Can he actually survive? The Flying Attack will be enough. And so SKT picks up Elder Drake and the kill.
And the disjointment from Afreeca leaves Marin by himself. SKT play it well. They collapse onto Marin while still remaining in aggro range of Dragon, so it doesn't lose the HP that had been so thoroughly worked before.
Okay, trying to get onto Wolf. Look at all those shields. And, I mean, his own Unbreakable. He's just not taking any damage.
it's only Varus that can really crack him. Magic resistance is through the roof, and you would imagine that these members itemize in heavy magic resistance as well, with a mixture of scaling and flat magic resistance, meaning that the late game will be even stronger.
Too much pressure in every single lane right now from SKT. They'll take down mid inhibitor, looking towards the bottom as the third inhibitor turret goes down. Tara in the top lane is pushing by himself. Look at that chunk damage on Tushin right now. Baker's farmed out of his mind. Looks like maybe they can save this inhibitor.
Oh, there's no chance here. They just don't have enough damage. This is exactly what I was talking about. I didn't like the Talia effect.
Yeah, Chain of Corruption here and the lockdown from the Zyra, but Redemption, the shields, the heals, and Antara looks unstoppable. Arn coming from the mid lane is able to TP in, looking for a counter engage here. Bang is way up in the front.
Fighting against Elder.
Yeah, and here comes that wall. Doesn't really do all too much. Big cast. Bang is able to dodge that though with the Featherstorm. Will lock up the Marin. He's able to jump away, but this time Untara will be taken out by Kuro. And still on the chase here is Afreeca, but oh, that Spirit just disappears. That chunking damage from the Karma. In comes Blank, and he's gonna find Kuro! Once again, he'll trade his life. But that is a lot of wave clear taken away from Afreeca. And this is the fight that will just never end, as both teams still sticking around.
Baron is still an objective. If they win a fight, they can get a big bonus out of all this. Q does miss, but they're fighting against an Elder Dragon. Many cooldowns from SKT had been used, and Marin just seems to not find a way around Unbreakable. Every single time the ultimate does go wide, gets blocked by Wolf, and one of the most difficult champions to play against when you're playing Gragas, and as such, Wolf uses his wall intelligently, and what should have been multiple knockbacks, placing members in difficult situations, ends up being just a blown ability. And now SKT just starts out that Baron. They have the Mountain Dragon with how much damage Xayah can do right now. This can go down quickly. They are responding.
It's all about the bot lane for Afreeca, but Tushin just almost dies from one Mantra Q at this point, and they have to give it away. So no inhibitors left, only the two Nexus turrets and the Nexus, and they're facing a Baron buffed SKT, who has finally taken the lead in this one, up about 9,000 gold.
How many times has Tushin had to base off getting hit from a Mantra Q? It's too many to count. The range of Zyra is just not there to match Karma's, and because he's always looking for angles, he's also facing Faker, who's looking for angles too, so they meet each other eye to eye, and the range battle always wins. It's like playing a short range AD carry against Caitlyn. Caitlyn will almost always hit you first, and that's what Karma does to you.
We'll see how SKT wants to crack this space. I don't think it should be too hard.
God, how grotesque there. There's the Gargoyle Stone Plate onto Wolf. He's not dying either.
He's got Locket, Redemption. He's got the Eye.
Sure, Kramer has damage, but realistically, is he gonna get in range and be able to melt down every member from SKT? Unless they do it one at a time, highly unlikely.
You can see SKT taking this very carefully. Just trying to push in with the double super minions and all the different waves. Afreeca trying to clear it out as fast as humanly possible. A knock up here onto Bang. Doesn't have the Featherstorm. Chain of Corruption though will miss. Oh, it hits someone, but it doesn't hit Bang. And the push still coming on in. This Nexus turret's getting lower and lower. Still 2 minutes left on the Baron as SKT looking to close this one out.
Good cooldown there from Marin to trade for Bang's ultimate. He does have body slam flash, but there's no damage to follow up on any of this.
You would essentially have to catch Bang. And even then, you got Faker in the backline. And look at all that damage. They're going to be jumping on in now. Looking to end this game. The big knockout from the Braum. Trying to find some targets here. Grow still alive in the back with so little health. Spirit as well. As SKT pushing on in. Those minions get to work on the Nexus. This is going to be all tied up 1-1.
SKT coming back with a vengeance, what I gotta say. This looks like the woes that Afreeca had in Game 2 against Ron's Tigers. A fault in the draft. They had no chance of actually winning this if they did not stomp tremendously early on. You have one physical threat against a heavy amount of tanks on top of the one mid laner that builds the most magic resistance against heavy AP lineups and enhances the tankiness of your tank team further. Just a great draft from SKT, but Afreeca's hand, they started off poor and there's not much they could have done with what they got dealt.
Both Blank and Antara actually don't look all that happy with their play. I feel like Blank is still kicking himself, perhaps, for being out of position for the Baron that almost tipped the game too far in Afreeca's favor. So even though SKT does take the win, it's not as clean as they would have liked. I'm sure they're going to be hearing a bunch of stuff from Koma.
You may have a perfect game, but unfortunately in League, you tend to reminisce on the mistakes more than anything else. And while Blank did have some game-winning kicks, he did make some mistakes that could have been punished way worse had they been against a team that was more active, such as this one, right? This was such a freebie. This could have started the snowball right from the get-go, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones he's kicking himself for.
That's the first one. Definitely was snowballed a little bit easier in SKT's favor had he landed that. Kramer with no summoners. Just following up for that kill. Nice unbreakable from Wolf.
Oh, he fell into the crevice. That was cool.
Nice dodge here from Faker. And this is where Blank begins to turn it on. It's almost max range Q into the very nice kick flash. Good play from Marin, though, to even up the score.
I just want to see the one where he goes forward into the bottom lane. Onto the cannon. I'm sure it's got to be the next one. Oh, no. This is another catch onto Spirit. This is when we were questioning the build with the Dark Seal, where it was reminiscent of the days where Afreeca was really struggling in the jungle matchup. And this is the cool play, the biggest one of the game.
Get out your cameras, boys. Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
So well played.
And that's when Afreeca, they had the Baron, and that was the Baron that Blank out of position definitely helped Afreeca take, and he's like, no, you guys are pushing, I'm going to win this back for my team.
That's what makes it so impressive. Clutch plays and moments like that are what make the difference, and that's one of the reasons why SKT is such a team that you can never count them out. Right there, the flash tether to ensure that Marin can't escape from Faker. Clutch move every single time you stall out the game. Later and later, then, if you're in a position where you can get advantages from buying more time on the clock, it's always worthwhile.
Oh, the mid laner's damage. It's almost touching. So close.
Don't touch those swords.
At the end of it all, actually, Kura had the most damage on Talia. But a good 1-2 punch from SKT from Faker with his chunking damage and the consistent sustained damage from the Xayah.
18,000 from ours. He's not in a position to succeed. You need a hyper carry when you're dealing with 4 magic damage threats, and if you don't draft it, you're on a ticking time bomb. It exploded, and they lost.
So guys, it's all tied up 1-1. We're going to take one more short commercial break, and we'll come back with game number 3 of SKT versus the Afreeca Freaks.